Happy Halloween, YouTube. It's Tag97 again. Hope all you doing very spooky today. I got something very special for you. We're going over the Hi-Point JCP 40 Smith & Wesson Undead Edition. And also, guys, do not forget I have an Instagram as well. Just go down to the description down below. Find a link that says Tag97. Once you do that, hit that follow button and get anything that's exclusively happening on Instagram that you never get to see anywhere else. Do not forget, guys, that I have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway happening very soon. Make sure you go to my Instagram to get anything that's exclusive just for that to keep updated. If not, then it's kind of your loss, but I highly recommend if you want to enter that giveaway. I want to thank my viewers, subscribers, and of course the Patreon donors. Without your guys' love and support to the channel, I've never had been big as I am today, and I love and appreciate you guys so much, you have no idea. And I want to thank the lender of today's firearm, Skip, for him rebuilding the Hi-Point that I bought, and hey, gifted it to him to rebuild, and here we are today. So I'm very excited to do this review, and let's get started. Okay, so let's get into the educational part of this video, better known as the specifications. So today we'll be reviewing the Hi-Point JCP 40 Smith & Wesson, and wait, I already did a review on this firearm, didn't I? Oh, silly me, I forgot to torture it and destroy it, and this is the Halloween special. So me and Skip had an idea after I destroyed it. I said as a joke, hey man, if you can rebuild this, you can keep the gun. And amazingly, with his voodoo black magic, something, whatever he did to it, he made this firearm work, and we decided to call it the Undead Hi-Point. So this Hi-Point that I destroyed on my YouTube channel previously, which I recommend you go watch, that it somehow works with some of the even original parts that are missing, it still works. The only thing that Skip had to do that was customizable besides the paint job and everything else is the trigger guard and the iron sight, just so it can function as a normal handgun. And also the trigger guard for safety reasons too. The safety, he got to work again, but the magazine release is still stiff as it was before, so that hasn't changed. But it still functions. It does have a slight curve to it, if you can see it right there, but it is what it is with that. I'm not going to complain. So this is the Hi-Point JCP 40 Smith & Wesson Undead Edition. And as you can see, it lives up to its name. So this Hi-Point is like basically impossible to destroy, in my opinion. So kudos yet again, Hi-Point, for making a gun that seems to never stop working. Very good gun to last you for the end of the World Series. So all I gotta say, I'm blown away. So I will go over some of the basic specifications. Like I said, if you want to know the full verity of this firearm, the original specs, go ahead and watch that video from before. But I'll be going over the basics. So the overall length of this firearm is going to be leaving you at 7.72 inches overall length. And that barrel length is going to be leaving you at 4.5. There's even a little blood splatter on the barrel too. I think it's cute. But as you can see, this firearm is definitely functional and really sick looking, and I really love that design. Alright, so let's get into the interesting part of this video. Let's talk about the magazines that originally came with this firearm, the ammo we use in today's video, and the best recommended grain for 40 cal handguns. So since we don't need to talk about the handgun at this time, I'm going to remove it. Oof, that was a really disgusting feeling. And let's talk about that magazine that originally came with. Obviously the base plate has been melted and completely destroyed, so you can't undo that and take it out anymore. But this used to be a 10+1 magazine. Now it can only hold 9 for some reason. I guess it's so gunked up from the torture that we did, but you originally only get one 10+1 magazine. Very sturdy and durable, and as you can see, it's basically fire retardant to a certain degree. And let's talk about the ammo we use in today's video. And if you've already been watching this channel for a while, you already know it's Winchester, and I'll show you a picture real quick. So we use Winchester 40 Smith & Wesson 180 grain. Definitely an awesome grain to be using. A little bit heavier than what most people would probably carry for 40. And let's get into the best recommended grain from experts in the gun community I talk to here and there. So they recommended between 155, 165, and 180, which I'm using right now. I personally like the 180 grains. It's a little bit more boom kind of feeling to it, but it's not like, you know, gonna recoil you a lot, but it is probably my favorite grain to be using with a 40. Alright, so since we're done basically with the specifications, whatever is left of this Hi-Point, let's talk about what led us to this point and how this firearm became what it is today, which is UNDEAD Edition. So what we did in the original shooting review / torture test of this Hi-Point is that we started off very slow. So we wanted to see the accuracy. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of crappy and needed retraining with handgun training. So yeah, I kind of rewatched that and saw how cringe it was, and I wasn't very accurate with this handgun. But it was not the handgun's fault, it was mine. And then we did a rapid fire with it, and it stayed on target roughly. But I will say the slide is very aggressive when it comes back, because it's literally like a solid piece of metal just chunking back. It's about almost 2 pounds, that slide alone. So it's a lot of weight coming back at you. I will still stand to this day. I hated the original sights. They were absolutely atrocious, disgusting. I still do not like them. But the sights that Skip, somewhat custom made, are fine and they work and get the job done. So after we did that test and we soaked it in water and had it sit there for about a couple of minutes, take out, we shot it, redid it again, and it worked just fine. I think we only had like one hiccup with it, but that was probably the ammunition, and it worked just fine. So other than that, that was fine. Then after that, we just absolutely tortured it in really disgusting mud. It was really chunky, gritty. There's actual rocks inside the barrel, and it still shot just fine. I kept making jokes saying my hand is probably going to blow off from shooting it like that, but this Hi-Point kept going with literally rocks inside the barrel and everything else, in the inner guts, everything. There's actual rocks and just chunks of mud in this, and it kept going. So that was very impressive with that part. Alright, so right after that part, we decided to put in a different type of mud, since there's multiple different muds out there. Keep in mind, it was cold and it wasn't very wet areas, so I had to transfer water in certain areas to make mud. Some of it was kind of sandy, but I made the best I could out of it. So right after we did the water test and the mud test, we decided to do a fine, very fine sandish mud, where we put in the barrel, the guts of this entire firearm. We tried many times. We tried very hard to make this gun work. It's not like we were trying to make it look bad or make it fail. We were trying our best to make this gun work, and it refused, absolutely refused to cycle that sandish mud. So unfortunately, that was the one killer of this gun. So I had to clean it, disassemble it, and then put it back in. I shook it in water multiple times just to give it a fair chance with the next torture test. After I cleaned it, I shot it a few times to make sure it would work, and it worked just fine. So the next thing that we did to it was put shaving cream. It was a lot of shaving cream. I'm not going to lie, I did really enjoy the shaving cream part. That was probably the most funnest part, mainly because it felt very clean to do it. Now, it did leave somewhat of a film on it when I did put the shaving cream in the mud and all that. All mixing all these different things in it kind of left a film. Not right now, but I'm saying before. Anyway, so we put shaving cream in every crevice of this gun, man. I'm talking about every crevice. And we cycled it and everything. The only downside about shaving cream, I will say that it did probably lube it though, but the only downside of it was I had absolutely no grip, because the original grips that are on the Hi-Point have no stippling really, so you don't really have that solid grip that you would need. Now, because I set it on fire and destroyed it, it now has multiple different stippling, I guess you can call it. It's very aggressive and mean. So that's fine with that. Other than that, it was working just fine. The shaving cream did the job, but the Hi-Point said, you're not going to stop me, shaving cream. If anything, you're helping by lubing me. So let's talk about the one part of the torture test I absolutely despised. I hated it. It was so gross. So I even used it as a thumbnail too. The irony, right? So I put peanut butter in this firearm. Now I know, so classic, right? So original. Everyone does that, let's be honest. So I put peanut butter in here, in and out of the crevices of this firearm. It was disgusting. It was a nasty, weird feeling. Now, if you get mud, sand, that's to be expected if you're going down range or being in the field environment or anything like that. It happens. It happens and happens. But peanut butter, that was gross. It was just a nasty film it left after shooting it. At first, the first couple of rounds, it smelled like s'mores, and after that it smelled like straight like decaying butthole, and it was just gross, and I would not probably do that again. It was just so gross, man. It just made me not want to eat peanut butter either. And don't say the joke, because someone already said it. Did you put jelly with that peanut butter, right? Such a funny joke. Anyway, after I did that disgusting test, I did the yeet. So I threw this off the little ledge that we had at the pasture or the ranch and banged it up pretty good. And I have to say, the only thing it really broke was the safety mechanism on it. It's still bent to this day, but it actually works now, so that's good. Other than that, it was fine, it worked. But definitely, I don't recommend ever shooting peanut butter with your firearm. So let's wrap up that recap of this Hi-Point. So one of the last few things we did, I realized I did it backwards. I should have ran it over first and then set it on fire, but it is what it is. Anyway, what I did first is I set it on fire. That was supposed to be the grand finale. And I let it toast for about 2 minutes and it was completely destroyed. It was locked to the rear, didn't want to move forward again, and it was absolutely destroyed 100%. I was like, there's no way this gun will ever work again. But here we are, right? And then after that, just for like, you know, we'll joke, I ran it over, but I should have ran it over first. But because I ran it over, it now has a permanent curve, as you can see. It is now curved and it feels weird to hold if you think about it. So if you have OCD, I wouldn't recommend you trying to shoot this exact handgun. It kind of bothers me, but you get over it, kind of ideal. Adapt and overcome, right? But after all that torturing test, as you can see, Skip rebuilt this entire firearm, made some cool designs on it, and it made it look really sick and demented. I really love it. So the Undead Hi-Point, all I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. So since we're done talking about the recapping of what we did to this Hi-Point, let's go over how I personally feel about this firearm. Now, I will say the negative things I did say in the past and on this video as well about Hi-Point doesn't mean I'm bashing Hi-Point, trying to make them look bad, because I got that negative comments in my other videos saying I was trying to make Hi-Point look bad and everything. In reality, I wasn't at all. I was giving it a fair, honest, and bias-free video review, and I don't know why people said I hated it. I actually really loved it and enjoyed shooting it. Much as it is, let's be honest, it is an ugly gun. It really is. But it did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to work in a very hostile environment of being destroyed and everything else, and Hi-Point lived up to its expectations. If anything, it actually blew me out of water, the fact that it's still working to this day. So I'm not going to go over negativity and positivity of this part of the review. I know normally I do, but since I literally did a whole other video on it, I'm not going to. But I will say that I am very blown away by Hi-Point. I hope they see this video to see that their gun, after being completely destroyed, it can be rebuilt and reused. So if times are coming soon to the end of the world, this is probably the gun you want to have. Much it is ugly, it will work. And as you can see, if you can repair it, it will work again. So it is now forever known as the Undead Hi-Point to me and my business partner. So, oh man, I hope you enjoyed that part of the video. So if you did skip this part, I will recommend you go back to learn the specifications and see the recap of what we did to this firearm. If not, no worries, just make sure you do me this solid and hit that like button and of course subscribe, because that's always highly appreciated. I love getting that notification pop up on my screen saying you guys are subscribing. If this is your first video to the YouTube channel, I know it's a little weird and you're very confused probably. I recommend you go watch some other videos, but if you just subscribed, I welcome you to TAG97 with open arms, and you're very loved and appreciated, I promise. So, enough of me talking. I want you to enjoy this very spooky Halloween themed video of me shooting, so I hope you enjoy it.
take this. Man, these zombies, it's not dying. I gotta use a super high powered 5,000 billion velocity rounds with 500 magnum in it. It's the only way to kill these zombies nowadays. No brains for dinner tonight, punk. I'll save you, Jimmy. No zombie will get you now.
So as you see, the Hi-Point JCP 40 Smith & Wesson Undead Edition is definitely TAG97 approved, highly recommended, and just Hi-Points overall, highly recommended by TAG97. I'm just blown away that this firearm still works after everything that's been done to it. And the video is not meant to be, you know, taken serious. It's meant to be funny, and I do know I have my nieces and nephews watch my YouTube videos, so I thought they'd get a little kick out of it. I gotta make everybody happy, right? So it was meant to be a fun and somewhat educational video, and to show you that the Hi-Point is very reliable. So definitely TAG97 approved, and I had a blast shooting it. I do want to show you the accuracy real quick. So at 7 yards, I took 3 rounds. No 25 today. Main reason for conserving ammo because 40 has skyrocketed like you not believe. Most boxes that are 40 Smith & Wesson can be between $30 to $40, even past like $50 I've seen 40 cal going out there in the price range. So I've only taken 3 shots. I'm not trying to do the accuracy really, just showing you that it can group roughly, even though it's very ugly and disgusting looking. Anyway, besides that, if you did enjoy this video, I recommend you hit that like button and of course subscribe because it's always highly appreciated. I got nothing more for y'all. I love y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy. And if you're going trick-or-treating tonight, be very safe and cautious and keep your eyes open. You never know. Parents, stay with your kids at all times, and kids, don't leave your parents and don't get out of their eyesight. And don't take candy from weird strangers, all right? Y'all be safe. I love y'all. And you have a good trick-or-treating. Happy Halloween.